All right. Hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome to another video. And look at this. Yeah, I'm doing a movie review. Wow, wow, wow. I don't normally do these. I know you're probably like, Gore, you fat bastard. What are you doing? This is a reaction or a game pickups video. Those are only two things you do. I know. I'm doing a movie review, and this time I'm talking about, of course, Black Widow, which is a movie that's out. You may have heard of it. I'm not sure. It's a small little indie film. I'm joking. It's not. Um, and I was looking forward to it actually because I really like the MCU stuff. Like, I mean, if you get really deep into it, a lot of them are stupid and junk, but they're fun. They are fun, very watchable for sure. And you know what? I'm one of those people that even if I don't like something, I'm happy people are liking it. You know, yeah, even though I haven't really liked the beginning, at least of Loki, the first three episodes, I don't really like those. They're okay, but I was like, eh. Well, I was happy to see everybody else liking it. Obviously, people weren't happy to see me not liking it because I got a lot of shit for those. But yeah, I'm always happy to see people enjoying something, unless it's like the Emoji Movie. What are you doing? Anyway, that's just an example. There's a lot of other movies I would compare with the Emoji Movie. Actually, there's movies I'm thinking of right now that I hate way more than Emoji Movie. Doolittle. Anyway, this movie, I shouldn't clap with the mic right in front of me. This movie I was looking forward to. The trailers look fun. I always thought Black Widow was always maybe not the highlight of the movie she was in, but she was always a strong aspect. She was always a great character. But she deserved her own movie. Of course, Scarlett Johansson can lead a movie. We already know that. So why not give her a movie? I didn't think it was gonna be 2 years after her character died in Endgame, but whatever. Um, I mean, Loki died. He got his own show. Vision died and he got his own show, kind of. So why not Black Widow? Give her her own show, or movie. And I liked it. I liked it. I want to say I liked it, but I definitely did not love it. There was a lot of problems with this movie, and I will get to it. But you know what? I like to start positively, so let's just get to it. Okay. I thought the cast was really good because I'm going to try to make this review really quick. Okay, I'm going to try, but it's probably going to be long. Um, I like the cast in this movie. I think everybody did a great job with the material they had, even if the material itself was, you know, a Marvel script. They all did good. Of course, Scarlett Johansson was good. It was nice to see Natasha have a little bit more of a character, where in a lot of the other movies, she's been a strong character. She's been a highlight, but she's never had like a ton of moments to really like be a human, you know? And that's the point of her character in a lot of those is just like she just wants to wipe the ledger clean, you know. She wants to do good for past mistakes, but we never get deep into why she is the way she is at this point in whatever movie she was in. But she's a strong character. We just didn't get a good idea of her backstory, and we get a good idea here. I'm gonna say right here, the cast is great. Scarlett Johansson's great. David Harbour is really fun in the movie. Everybody did a really good job. Rachel Weisz did a great job. Florence Pugh was great. We'll go back to the cast. I actually want to talk about one thing. The opening scene. This movie starts off really strong. I really like the opening scene. And I was like, how come no review I read is talking about how good this opening scene is? I really loved it. I really did. I'm not kidding. The first 15 minutes is great. It's like grounded in like almost like a realism that you would expect from like something like The Boys. Not as grim, I guess, but definitely not. I mean, it would have been funny if it weren't that fucking dark. But it was really well done, and I don't want to spoil what it is, but it is a look into Natasha's past. You see it in the trailer, so you see she's a little girl at one point. Obviously, all people were little at one point, except me. I started off big. I came out giant. Anyway, I I really like that opening scene a lot, actually, and I thought it was a great emotional little like setup for what ended up just being another fucking dumb Marvel movie. It almost makes me think like the opening of that was like I don't want to say reshoots, but like it was like directed by somebody else or like that was actually directed by the director is it Kate Shortland? I should have looked this up. I'm sorry, this is a very unprofessional review. But it almost felt like that was actually directed by whoever was directing this, and then everything else was just like, you know, like the Marvel suits came in and was just like, you better do this. If we need an action set piece every like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, we need some jokes, fill it with jokes. And then like the director and even the writers and everybody's just like, Okay, at least we got to direct and do something with the first 15 minutes because it really did feel like even the intro to the movie, the opening credits, felt different than most Marvel stuff. And I thought that was great. So I really like that opening scene. I will also give credit to the pace. The pacing is actually pretty brisk because the movie's over 2 hours, and comparatively, like I really enjoyed Fast Nine. I didn't review that. I guess I can review it now. It was dumb shit. It was horrible. I loved it. There, that's my review. But that movie felt long at times, and this movie not really. I was like, when we were at the end, I was like, oh, this is the end. Oh, we're done. I was like, all right. I was surprised how brisk the pace was. You know, I even if I wasn't super enjoying certain scenes, they went by quick. I don't know. So maybe I was either enjoying it or maybe I was just waiting for the scene to end to get to something else that I was enjoying. You know what I mean? Like you're like on the edge of your seat, like, oh man, get this fucking stupid scene done so I can go back to some Red Guardian stuff. That's David Harbour's character. But anyway, so that's good. I always like a pacing that makes the movie feel shorter than it actually is. The humor actually kind of worked. Like I'm gonna say it was like 65% funny and 35%. Nah, this ain't doing it. Some jokes were just like really quick ones, like just Florence Pugh saying like, "Oh, this is not my favorite place to die" or something, and she might as well just look at the camera and say, "Remember that? That was a reference to a joke earlier in the movie." Like there's a lot of like references to jokes from earlier in the movie. There's one about how Black Widow poses all the time in that that pose where it looks like pretty much the Spider-Man pose. Um, and that's true. It's always silly for sure, but these are comic book characters. She brings it up. She's like, "Why do you always do the pose and stuff?" And she like mocks it. And it's pretty funny, but then they keep bringing it back. So that's like my complaint with the humor is that it is funny at first, and then they just keep bringing it back. Red Guardian shows up, and he doesn't really do much in the story, honestly, besides just make stupid jokes. Not even stupid jokes, just like saying something dumb. Really, he's not even really making jokes. He's just like, my daddy pissed on my hands. He says that once. He didn't say it like that, but whatever. And he's funny. Don't get me wrong, but I was looking for a Red Guardian. I was like, oh man, he's gonna mess people up. I mean, he fucking barely does anything. He has like one real fight scene, and he doesn't do anything. Don't get me wrong. David Harbour was fun, but still. But yeah, the humor worked more than it didn't. So I guess that's more of a positive than a negative. But going back to the cast, I think everybody did a really good job. Florence Pugh, I thought was one of the standouts. She actually had a lot of personality. She was fun. She was energetic. I thought when I was watching the trailer, they were going to make her into like some super serious character, but no, she's actually goofy and fun. I actually liked her, and I always liked Florence Pugh. I thought David Harbour, like I said, was really fun. Not much to his character besides like, oh, he's fat now, and he used to be a Captain America type, but except he was from Russia. He had the super soldier serum or something. He's a super soldier in some aspect. Yeah, he's fun, but he's not like a super deep character. I did like the family aspect, which hey man, family. Everybody knows that meme now, which is really unfortunate that it's a meme now. It should have been a meme years ago when the freaking Fast movies started saying the family thing over and over again, but whatever. But like the family aspect, it was better than I thought, which is surprising because I thought it would just be kind of like what the Fast and Furious movies do, where they say family but they don't really show it besides them bickering. Here there is bickering, but there's times where there's like a heartwarming scene where like Red Guardian and Florence Pugh's character, like they're reminiscing about the past, and like he starts singing a song she liked in the beginning of the movie that you hear, and I'm like, this is good stuff. This is actually good. And like I said, the first 15 minutes I really liked. I actually felt that family dynamic pretty well. I almost wish I said it earlier on a mistake, but I almost wish this was a show because you could actually have a good like first episode where it's all past stuff, or they get intercut. You know how like of course shows cut back and forth between different plot lines. Like Game of Thrones, where we'll do a Daenerys thing, we'll do this, we'll do that. I always wish it was a show so we can have like past stuff, like, and then we'll go back to the present day stuff. Make it a 6 episode thing. That would have been better, honestly. Especially since this didn't really need to have a $200 million budget because it's Black Widow. Put some espionage shit in there. You could have had a really cheap show. But no, they decided, oh, we gotta blow everything up. Black Widow is gonna fall off a freaking building, hit hit all these things while going down like it's John Wick 3. You know, when John Wick 3, when he gets shot, he fucking hits everything and then falls on the ground. She's gonna do that too. She's gonna hit this, hit that, hit this, and then just land on her feet. And I was like, I was the only one in the theater like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, I can't really at this point, like, I can't complain because in the first Avengers, she's like jumping up onto aircrafts, holding onto them when her arm should be ripped off. She's doing other, like, she gets hit by the Hulk once in Avengers 1 as well, and she should be obliterated. But you could also argue that Avengers 1 is a cartoon, feels like a cartoon, it looks like a cartoon, and now more recent MCU movies are trying to go a little bit more, not realistic, but a little bit more grittier, I guess, like especially the shows, like shit, like Falcon and Winter Soldier, for sure. Um, Loki, maybe not so much, but yeah. Now let's get to the negatives. I don't want to talk about the negatives too much, but because, all right, I'm just gonna say the villains. Ray Winstone is the, I guess you could say he's the main villain, but he's the one that doesn't fight really. You know, he's just like the evil businessman. The whole story revolves around the Red Room, which is the thing that Natasha and all these other Black Widows were subjugated to and pretty much mind controlled in and stuff to do the dirty work and stuff. And this guy, Ray Winstone, I forgot his character's name. I don't fucking care. First of all, Ray Winstone, I love that guy. But he's always cast as like just an evil dude. I mean, it makes sense. You listen to his voice and you look at him, you're like, who the fuck else you could cast him as? Loving Dad, Beowulf. He was Beowulf, which is weird watching him in this and then thinking, he's Beowulf. This guy, what the fuck? It's like, I mean, that was all motion capture anyway, but still. I like Ray Winstone a lot. I just feel like he not only wasted, his character is the dumbest fucking villain ever. There's something that happens at the end of the movie where he's supposed to be this guy's like, he gets away with everything. He has deep connections. They show pictures of him in the intro, in the beginning of this movie, obviously, where he's like with JFK. He's like talking to all these like big businessmen. He's a big part of America, you know, and he gets outsmarted in the stupidest fucking way, and he's acting so like oh, you can't hurt me. You're not gonna win anyway, so I'll tell you my evil plan. Which is funny because earlier in the movie, Natasha's watching a James Bond movie, and then and later in the movie, the exact fucking thing happens where he's just like, I'm gonna tell you my whole plan right before you escape. Even though at this point in the movie, Natasha's like free to walk around. She's just walking around. It's not like she's like, you know, restrained or whatever, or like she's knocked out and she's like fading in and out of consciousness while he's saying this. No, it's just he's just standing around. She just can't hurt him. There's a reason why in the story. She can still do things. She can fucking do anything right now. He has no protection at this point. Besides, like, she can't attack him for a reason I won't spoil, even though it doesn't fucking matter. And the villain is fucking stupid. But, of course, everybody's talking about Taskmaster, which I'm not I've said this many times in the past. I am not a comic book guy. The only comics when I was a kid that I read were Spawn sometimes and mainly Punisher because of violence. That's really the only reason why I read those. I loved them, don't get me wrong, but that was the only reason why I was like, yeah, I'll read these comics because violence. Because I like violence. And this version of Taskmaster, even though I'm not a comic fan, is just fucking wrong. Like, first of all, they do the thing where like, oh, they have photographic memory, so Taskmaster learns how to be other people and how they act or move and stuff. So like they're the first time we see Taskmaster in action, he's moving like Black Widow, and he has the Black Panther claws at one point, which he barely does anything with. He has the shield, Captain America's shield, which he throws like maybe 3 times. Like the big part of Taskmaster is that he's supposed to like really like figure out how someone ticks and work, like move as them, and also find a way to like, you know, use that against them, I guess. Like Shadow Link. There you go. It's like Shadow Link in Zelda 2, or is it Dark Link? Whatever. Anyway, whatever it's called. But that's all they really do. They only do it a little bit, and then the character doesn't talk. And then there's a reveal at the end of the movie that is the most fucking obvious reveal. I really want to talk about it. I'll talk about it, spoilers in the end. It's so fucking obvious. I said they're definitely going to do this certain thing in one of the trailers for Black Widow. I was just like, they're definitely going to do this, and they did, unsurprisingly. Um, so the villains are weak. Like Taskmaster had a couple of cool moments, like just a couple like oh neat like action moments, but not enough. Like and I don't know, like just play the Spider-Man PS4 game. Taskmaster is cool in that. I heard he's actually kind of cool in Avengers too for the little bit he showed up in that game. But and actually I played that beta. You fight Taskmaster as Black Widow, so just play that segment, and you'll have a better Black Widow versus Taskmaster sequence because the fight scenes with Taskmaster and Black Widow in this are kind of weak for the most part. There's a couple cool scenes here and there, but for the most part, the fight scenes are pretty weak. I thought the editing was very, very weak in this movie. It was very strange because, for the most part, it's done well enough. It ain't gonna get nominated for any awards, but it's competently done. But there's times where like it cuts to scenes that is just like it's very awkward jumps to different scenes. Like there will be an explosion caused by one character, and then it'll like mid explosion and even mid sound effect will jump to the character's face like I got out of there. I'm like it was very, very awkward. That might have been just me. There was a good maybe half dozen scenes where it was like that. I was like whoa. I thought the special effects for a $200 million budget, at least that's what it says on IMDb and Wikipedia, so that might not be right. Very there's times where characters run towards the screen and you see this fire, like they're running away from an explosion. There's one with Florence Pugh at the end where I was the only one laughing. I laughed. Not hard. I don't think anybody knows, but I started laughing. And it was really bad. It was just terrible green screen. Like the effect, it was so terrible. It was really bad. But for the most part, the special effects aren't terrible. My problem is that Disney has all this money and all these people working on these movies. These special effects should be top notch. I'm sorry, they should be. $200 million, all that money, dude. You know how many great low budget movies you can make with 200 million? I know me saying that, I'm sure some people will be like, "Ah, oh, come on." But fucking why is Black Widow a movie that should have just been an espionage thriller with a lot of action, hand-to-hand action, which is exactly what I wanted, and you get it a little bit, but not enough. And it's also like cut all to hell. There's even times where like the camera does some like Jason Bourne shit, where the Bourne movies are just like fucking shaky cam the entire time. Which is ridiculous. But why does Black Widow need $200 million? It could have worked on 100 million, even less than that. But whatever. The effects were mediocre for the most part. Some of them were bad, but should have been great. I talked all that time without a drink. All right. Last thing before we get to spoilers. This is a personal one. You might not think this, but I feel like a lot of the characters got sidelined in this. The movie's about Black Widow. I get that. And she doesn't get sidelined. She gets some good character stuff. But there are characters that I feel like get sidelined. What was the point of having Red Guardian in this? Like, what was really? He didn't do a fucking thing besides like, oh, I'll make funny joke. I don't know why he's like half Russian, half British, but whatever. He makes a funny joke. He farts. He didn't fart, but but it's like that style of humor. Like he's fat and he's gross. Oh, you smell. Oh, stinky. You've got fat, bro. It's that type of jokes, and like he doesn't do much. I mean, the family dynamic, maybe that's why it's there. But even that, like, Black Widow's dead at this point. Like, are they gonna bring back Red Guardian? And I mean, I guess they could, but are they gonna? You know how many characters they don't bring back in MCU movies? And if they do, they get killed off immediately. I'm looking at you, Crossbones. He was Crossbones for about 2 minutes, and then they fucking exploded his ass. What a horrible use of Frank Grillo, by the way. He could have been a great Punisher, and you used him as Crossbones, so you explode 2 minutes after you introduce him as Crossbones. The fuck. What? Anyway, so side characters, I feel like do get like put on the sideline. Not even him. Like Rachel Weisz's character doesn't really do much. Taskmaster, I said it barely used. Really, it's just most of the side characters. The one like Q guy, the guy that's like the Q. I think he's on the poster. He's somewhere. I can't see what his name is, but because the fucking poster's so small. But like he's like really. I don't know. He was just there for comedic, like, oh, he was just there to bring gadgets. He was the Q, so he brings the gadgets and even like the vehicles and stuff to Natasha, and then Natasha says like, "Huh, you sleep a lot," and you're nervous or whatever. Like it's just jokes on his behalf, and he's just like, whatever. Like his character was fucking useless. Like there was no point for his character. Pretty much all the men in this movie were either useless or evil. Like even when William Hurt shows back up as Ross, and he's in two scenes, and he's just like, "I'm gonna get Natasha. I'm gonna get her ass." By the way, he's barely in the movie. They show him in the trailer a couple times. I think that's pretty much every time he shows up in the movie. Um, yeah, so a lot of side characters are either useless or just they get sidelined, which sucks because some of the cast is good. It's just that the characters don't have a lot to do. Red Guardian, I would have loved to see more of. I would have loved to see a more family dynamic. Like that would have been great because the family dynamic that was there was good. It was just not used enough is the problem. So overall, even like you notice I didn't even put the action scenes in positives or negatives because I'm like indifferent on them. Some of them were okay. Most of them were just blah. It's just like whatever. Like it's Winter Soldier had some great scenes. And I'm comparing it to Winter Soldier because first Black Widow's in that one, obviously, and also it's like a very espionage, like I keep saying, spy thriller kind of thing. Until the end of that movie where it gets ridiculous, but yeah, I just kind of wanted that, and I didn't get it, which it's not the fault of the movie if they're doing something different. It's just I didn't like what they did, for the most part. I mean, I enjoyed the movie. I liked it, but I didn't like the story itself. Like, I did like the cast, and the humor was pretty good. I like how fast it felt. The opening scene is great. I just didn't love the whole movie and the story. It was just like very generic, and the villain was fucking stupid. But honestly, besides like friggin' Dark Elf Boy, he might be the worst villain in the MCU. Like, yeah, everybody will point out at what's his name from Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant Man, that one guy. But at least those two did something. This guy, I, this guy just sucked. Like, he sucked, and Taskmaster was just like completely wrong. It was like the Mandarin 2.0. It's just like, oh, they fucked him up, which is fine, but whatever. I mean, no, it's not fine, but it's fine if you do something different with it. But you didn't. You did, but you just didn't do anything really cool with them. But anyway, if I had to give a score, I give the movie. I give it a 7 out of 10. Just straight up a 7. It was fun. I enjoyed my time. The post-credit scene is really good, I think. But besides that, yep. Anyway, now let's get to some spoilers, okay? Because I wanted to talk about one thing. Okay, I've been saying Taskmaster's a he this entire time, which I'm sure was triggering some people. I only said that because I don't want to spoil the Taskmaster in the comics and everything fucking else I've seen Taskmaster in is a dude. His name's Tony Masters. Is that it? Tony Masters sounds like a fucking porn star or like a like a body not built bodybuilder, but like one of those instructional workout tape guys, like whoever. I can't think of one. Obviously, look at me. I don't watch those. But I just Taskmaster's a woman in this. Spoilers. And I think everybody was saying like they're gonna make Taskmaster a woman. Everybody knew that was gonna happen. The intro to this happens, and then it says the cast, of course, is Scarlett Johansson, Florence Pugh, David Harbour, whatever. And then it said Olga Korolenko, and immediately I saw that. I was like, from Quantum of Solace? Oh, oh, oh. She's going to be Taskmaster. And you don't see her throughout the entire movie. And I'm like, oh, here's the reveal. And then like an hour and 30 minutes in, they take off the helmet. Wow. They also mention this is the one where if you don't know at this point that Taskmaster's a woman, I don't know what to do for you. There's a point where Natasha's talking about like a job she did where she was trying to take out Ray Winstone's character, and she thought she did, but she didn't. But she, I guess inadvertently, yeah, it was inadvertently because she didn't want to kill the kid, but she had no choice. She killed supposedly Ray Winstone's daughter. She didn't. The daughter was Taskmaster, and right when that scene happened, there was a flashback where you see a young Scarlett Johansson, Natasha, looking at the window, and the kid's there, and she blows up the whole building with the kid. I'm like, yeah, that's gonna be Taskmaster, because you're not gonna bring that up randomly to a villain that has had pretty much no screen time at all. If it isn't gonna lead to a reveal later that, oh, it's Taskmaster. Big fucking surprise. Wow. Also, we knew like something's going on with Taskmaster. Even in the beginning, like they're doing like mysterious shit, like who's Taskmaster? Who is it? Like in the comics, everybody knows Taskmaster is a guy. He talks. You know, doesn't he have like a, at least in I almost want to say him like Spider-Man. I guess Spider-Man would make sense, but I think even in Avengers, doesn't he have like a Brooklyn accent or something like that? He has like an accent of some sort. So he's not just like some mysterious guy, you know. Like he talks, you know. He's a guy. They made him into a woman, which is fine. I don't give a fuck. But the whole thing that's really annoying is that they didn't do fucking anything with that. What was the point? You made her into a woman, and then she says literally like 2 lines. And you cast somebody that's actually a known actress in some fucking form, and she has like shit on her face because she's burnt up because she was in the explosion, which doesn't make any fucking sense because the whole building, it fucking exploded. Like it went boom, big, and she was at the window, so she probably fell out of the fucking window, I'm assuming, and she exploded, and there's no way she lived, but I guess they explained it like they put a chip in her brain or some shit. Who fucking cares? I'm sure someone will be like, well, in the comics, I don't give a fuck about the comics. Actually, I can't even say that because in the comics, the Taskmaster is a completely different character. But whatever. I just thought that was pointless. It didn't matter because Ray Winstone's character sucked. It didn't matter that he had a daughter. It didn't matter. He was a dick. What was the point? What was the point? To have a twist? Why? Why do we need a twist? Because spy thrillers sometimes have twists, I guess. I don't know. Yo, I'm confused, bro. I don't get it. Not really much else to spoil. The post-credit scene is interesting. They have Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character from Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm assuming she was supposed to. Obviously, this is obvious, but you were supposed to see her first in Black Widow and then see her again in Falcon and Winter Soldier, and that would have been the big like whoa, because they're planning a big thing, of course. She's working with Florence Pugh, who is the sister of Natasha. This post-credit scene is actually really good because they actually covers like why Black Widow didn't have a funeral in Endgame, and you know where is she buried? I guess not really. Obviously, they don't have a body, but like where is she, or where is her grave and stuff, and they bring that up, and it was actually pretty emotional. They have the sister, which I think their bond is pretty good in the movie. And then she shows up and she's like, hey, you want to kill Hawkeye because he's the reason why she died, even though why would she know that? Whatever. Maybe she doesn't know that. She's just like, whatever, we have a Hawkeye show coming out and we want you to go after Hawkeye. I think that's the build up, I'm assuming. Which it was a good post-card scene. I was like, all right. But yeah, besides that, like, you know, villain loses, he explodes in a hilariously terrible explosion effect, and that scene in the trailer where Black Widow is falling down from the sky happens, and there's about a 14-second fight with Taskmaster, and then Black Widow like shoots some crystal meth in her face, and she becomes like normal again. If you watch the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Shoots some like it was like oh, I got that from Red Letter Media. I feel bad. I just stole that joke from Red Letter Media. I just realized that. But it was that fucking like the kryptonite gas in Batman v Superman when he sprayed it into Superman's face and he went, oh, it was like that, except in this it was like to make them not Black Widows anymore. If you haven't seen a movie, you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So if you see a movie, you'll know what I'm maybe talking about. I don't know. Anyway, this is a long review. I figured it would be 30 minutes long, but yep, I said I'm going to try to get through it quick. That's quicker than like an hour. Anyway, Black Widow, a fun movie, 7 out of 10. That's the best I can give it, though. That's it. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Oh, that's for you.